It was such an oxymoron for what he just admitted. When I hear him talk about, what his desires is, I don't think the Dallas Cowboys is good enough to really compete. And they did that this past year with trying to get back the same type of guys. Now, Michael Parsons is an elite pass rusher. Michael Parsons is an elite defender. You're going to have to match something that gives him the opportunity for him to be great. Getting chipped, getting double teamed, getting the line slid always to your side. Those are all tactics that if he says, bro, I can't be me if somebody else on the opposite side doesn't do that. You don't do that with the same roster. And I think when you look on the other side of the ball, when you got a guy like CeeDee Lamb, it's like, bro, CeeDee Lamb and who else at the receiver position can make plays? And you got to go out in free agency. You got to go out in the draft and find those type of guys. So, Micah, bro, it's going to be some big changes, but the sameness in that locker room will be number 11 as the defensive end.
Here's where I'm at with this. First of all, the Dallas Cowboys have taken all the fun out of the season. You see, because I usually like them to be competitive and to tease people into believing they're going to do something special, and then they drop like a cheap bag of bricks. You know what I'm saying? And that's the joy that I get because I know that tortures Dallas Cowboy fans, whereas this year it's no fun because they know they stink. And as a result of that, nobody has hope. And because of it, it's just been a melancholy style kind of vibe throughout most of this season. They've taken the fun out of it for me, all right? But I'm for bringing it back from the standpoint that they have had a plethora of injuries. And because those injuries have played a role, we could look at the Dallas Cowboys and say, they'd probably be about 2 or 3 games better than they are right now if they hadn't sustained all of those injuries. Right, which would put them in the mix for a playoff picture just to get people's hopes up just enough before they plummet. You understand, come playoff time? So that would be a beautiful, beautiful thing. That's what I wish for them. But I don't wish for anything more than I wish for Micah Parsons to get his money. I think the brother's a stud. I want him to get paid. I wish he would shut the hell up to stop getting in the way of his agent. You understand? Let get his money. Stop volunteering that you'll work things out. Hell with all of that. Get your paper. You know what I'm saying? Get your paper. I don't want him to get in the way of getting his own money because he deserves it. So just be quiet and let your agent do his job. But in the end, when you talk about the talent that they have, no, it's not going to be good enough to win a Super Bowl. But damn it, they weren't going to win anyway. It's a black cat running around that franchise. They ain't winning no damn Super Bowl anytime soon. Okay? So, but keep enough pieces around to tease people into believing you relevant. I say you bring it back next year.
Yeah, see, I'm with Cam on this one, Stephen A. I'm afraid that what we see in the second half of the Dallas Cowboys is going to fool Jerry Jones into thinking that they're a lot closer than they are. Now, we'll learn a lot about the character of this locker room over the next 3 games where they got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on the road against the Eagles and at home against the Commanders to finish up.
Well, they're going to lose 2 of those 3.
But I agree with that. But if something somehow happens where you're talking about them being able to finish with a winning record over those 3, then I can absolutely see Jerry convincing himself and Stephen Jones, along with the rest of the front office, that we're a lot closer to winning than we actually are. They call them championship windows for a reason, Stephen A. They open and close. And the Dallas Cowboys window is closed. And what slammed it shut was paying Dak Prescott $60 million a year. Because Michael Parsons, he wasn't wrong with expressing the principle of what he's talking about. When you pay so many guys top of the market contracts, it doesn't give you an opportunity to fill out the rest of your roster and to have the depth. And that's how the injuries have that huge impact on what your season ultimately ends up becoming.
They're talking about restructuring Dak's contract, and that's going to gain them about $36 million in cap room. That's what they're saying, so we want to point that out. The other thing that I want to point out is that by the end of this regular season, Dak Prescott would have missed 31% of his games since 2020. His first 4 years in the league, he didn't miss a game. In 4 of the last 5 seasons, he's been injury-riddled. That coincides with Mike McCarthy's arrival.
So what does restructuring the contract do in terms of making sure that your quarterback is available? If he's not available and he's not winning football games, that creates a bigger problem. See, that's what I'm saying.
Well, if you got cap room, you can go out there and get some other people.
Yeah. Can I ask you, I guess, a question why I have 2 former players here, Cam? I want to start with you. Do you feel like players should be willing to sacrifice or try to maximize their money?
So it's funny that you asked that, Molly, because when the timing was around Dak garnering the type of money that he did, my advice to Dak was the same thing that we seen Tom Brady do for years. Tom Brady never or rarely was the top paid quarterback.
Yeah.
And that was very strategic. He allowed the New England Patriots to go out and find help. When you see guys like Darrelle Revis, when you see guys like Randy Moss, when you see guys or keeping the Gronkowskis, you know, investing in the defense, those things are strategic, and players must understand that. So for Dak, I don't think that that went into his decision because he just came off of mega contract where it's like, bro, you ain't tripping on coin. Now, the first contract, go get it. The Trevor Lawrences of the world, the Jordan Loves of the world, yeah, yeah, go get that. But you on your third contract and you're sitting up here garnering 60, that's gonna really set us back. And now you and CD really having that stare off on the sideline, like, bruh, it's because of the decisions that's made on the offseason. Now, restructuring the contract gets you back into that phase of like, yo, I need help. Go get me help. But as a strategy, as contracts, that's something that needs to go into consideration.
Yeah, here's the thing. I'm all about players maximizing the opportunity to get paid, but that doesn't necessarily mean taking the biggest deal that's out there. What it means is putting yourself in the best situation where you can get paid again. So, and continue to get paid. So I think what Dak Prescott did in terms of setting himself up and playing under the franchise tag and then using that leverage to get paid, good on him. As far as what Mike is talking about, I completely feel him in terms of making sure that there are other guys that are around you so you can do your job